Well, my name is Patrick Behrens, and again, I'm here with Bob Allen. Welcome back. And guys, this is the second series of our sales meeting, kind of what we're doing here. And the topics we're going to talk about are kind of in pre-production. These are thoughts that they've started, but we're kind of deciding on what direction they need to go and what we need to work on them. But Bob, if you can kind of start off with the first one, kind of where we're going with this.
Well, what we did was in the first segment we talked about the 4 shows that we're well on our way, that are set. We have time frames and everything. We are in production literally on those shows. These are shows that are right now into pre-production that certainly are available and will be available when the right time is. So the first one that we're talking about, I think, is one of the biggest ones that we got involved with in the last year, and that's the Sustainable Farmer of the Month series that we started.
And you're kind of talking about, and you're going to, of course, get into it, but where we're sitting here in Ventura County, some of the richest land, around this area, and it's just the perfect transition for this show, or the perfect segment to go into,
Well, it's part of the education system that has been lacking in our own schools only because of the budget cuts that they have.
Yeah.
So we've started with Mary Marinville, who basically has been doing the Sustainable Farmer of the Month, and she is bringing that out to all the schools.
Tell the audience, who is she? What
she is a school teacher who basically has been taking groups of children around to the different farms. She's been at Underwood Farms, at Limonera, more than once. And what she is doing is going around with the Katie group, and we're going, we've probably done 8 or 9 of the farmers. Well, from that, we've seen such an interest in it that, with everybody talking about what is going on, we are going to expand this. And what it's going to do, hopefully, is be segmented with good nutrition value.
Yeah.
In other words, when we start going out to McGrath Farms, and you listen to Phil McGrath
and talk about just the passion that he has on it. Oh, it's unbelievable.
Or Craig Underwood, when you start, and if we could bring all of those people in front of our viewing audience, and we can say, and I'm going to say this, this was Super Bowl Sunday. This is the largest area of avocado growing in the United States. And I have to go into a local market, which I will not name, and have to buy from another country, something is wrong. So what we're trying to do is show that we have farmers here who are so generous to places like Food Share. How do we help all of these other organizations? So that's what we're now looking at. And luckily, we have Patricia Shepard involved with us on that, and we're trying to create a health and wellness channel on Katie. So I hope everybody will continue to look as we develop this show.
And we're talking about developing it, and I think this has gone back kind of different directions, but kind of the idea of this particular channel is it can kind of be broken into different segments, and one of the segments is, of course, the farmer and the dirt, and where does the crops and stuff come from, and then you can go into a cooking aspect of it, of whatever's grown on that farm. You can physically.
We could actually bring.
They make it Adrian Nieto in there, So then you kind of have a cooking show on that, and Adrian Nieto is then brought in to show the product being cooked on that, and then we bring in the school side of it, and where it's grown, and Mary Marysville and other individuals kind of coming in and talking about, again, the product that's coming from and how to educate the students on that. That goes into the homeopathy and the medicines, and it really can break down into...
That's the content. The question is where do we get this distributed to? And our hope with everything that we've done in the last 4 years as we've been back on the air is that we've made and maintained a very good name and reputation through the school systems in Ventura County. I think that we saw yesterday when we were broadcasting the Academic Decathlon Awards, the respect that we're getting, the ability for us to broadcast live from...
and you've kind of touched on that. That's the one thing that we really want to highlight. Again, and I mentioned in the first series, remember, KDTV.com is the good of Ventura County. And so as we're starting to go into these locations, as Katie is starting to show up, they know that we're coming in and it's going to be a positive, for lack of a better word, I mean, it is a spin, but it's the positive spin on what Ventura County has to offer. And so people are starting to feel comfortable about us walking in and talking about a particular subject to them, and it's not going to be a negative story. It's not a gotcha stories. It's none of those. It's what Ventura County stands for.
And we've been talking all of the above about some conceptual type of shows, but the next one, I mean, we talk about it in pre-production, but this is going to be the second year that we're the official broadcast network for the only professional sports team in Ventura.
And Bob,
County,
who would that be?
The Ventura County Fusion.
The Ventura County Fusion on there. Again, as Bob pointed out, this is the only pro team anywhere in Ventura County, and of course, being soccer, being such a huge, this area being such a popular soccer area, it's unbelievable. I mean,
and just we know this weekend we had the Colorado team from the MSL. A couple of weeks ago, we had Chivas USA.
Yeah.
We have teams coming in because Oxnard College created a training facility for soccer.
Yeah.
For the Olympic, not the Olympic, but the World Cup, U.S. World Cup team, that many of the other teams are using that facility now as their spring training.
And guys, this is something to point out is I'll be very honest with you, I knew that it was there. I had not really been to it. And I tell you, walk out on that field, it's a gorgeous field, it's in a beautiful location. And that's one thing that with Katie also going out is trying to highlight locations, sites, just what does Ventura County have to offer here? I mean,
we can continue doing that, but let's keep on.
Let's keep going.
The Ventura County Fusion is really in the professional development league. So what happens is that professional soccer and the universities have said as long as they don't get paid for their services, to the point where you do it, all of these players are going to maintain their college eligibility. So what you're seeing is a lot of the local UCLA team has been playing on it the last couple of years. And it's really 2 years ago, they were the national champions in the Professional Development League.
Very nice.
So we have a pretty good, and we'll be doing all of their home games live. They do play the home games at Ventura College Stadium, which is a full stadium with press box and everything. So all I could say is this is one other area that if you are a potential sponsor and you want to get your word out, sports are certainly the way to go because we have the timeouts.
Yep.
Which brings us to the next sport, and that one you have to understand is a lot closer to my heart this year because whether we get a sponsor or not, I can promise you one thing.
We're still going to have it.
We are going to broadcast for the 4th year in a row the Conejo Oaks baseball games. And I'll share with you afterwards why we're going to do it. But the concept of this was unbelievable. I don't take credit for it. Mike Sosha and the Los Angeles Angels do take credit for it. Mike's son Matt was playing baseball at Notre Dame.
Okay.
And in the summer, they wanted to give collegiate baseball players who had gone to colleges outside of Ventura County an ability to come back and play the equivalent of a minor league schedule without having to basically sign a minor league contract. So in June and July, they play 60 games, okay? The league is now up to 7 teams.
Wow.
Maybe 8 from what I understand. Last year, they went out to Las Vegas. The Compton team, which is sponsored by Major League Baseball, have one in Glendale. Santa Barbara Foresters were the world champions a couple of years ago. And then you have one in San Luis Obispo and Santa Maria. So it's right in the area, and what you do is you have all your local talent. This year is going to be something very special. For those people in the county who remember the 2004 Conejo Valley Little League team that went to the World Series, there are going to be 4 players this year from that team that are going to be playing on the Conejo Oaks. Nice. And naturally, my own grandson signed the contract, so
that's right.
We're going to be there to do the games.
But so again, this goes out to also sponsors, guys, again, and advertisers. You know, we're trying to bring you the sports in the area and having it spread out. So it's a great opportunity and we're going to tie in more sports as the time goes on. So if you are looking at sponsoring any of these type of events, please, I mean, absolutely let us know.
And we're also talking right now to the community college district, and we've also been talking now to the Ventura County High School.
And kind of talk, I mean, that's something new we're talking about. But again, why are we going that direction? I mean, that's, you know.
Television, I am old enough to remember when television first started. And it was sports that drove regular television. When cable television came out, it was nothing till ESPN came on. Mm-hmm. So I'm relating that where we are now is where cable television was 40 years ago. Yeah. We started with sports 4 years ago, and we'll talk about that when we get into the history of Katy, but let's stick with what we're doing here so that some sponsors can see the
direction that we're going
in. So after sports, we had to have what other people love. They love food and drink.
Yeah, they love drinking, yeah. You know, and this one, as Bob's going to kind of talk a little bit about, but this is the Ventura County Wine Trail Series. And kind of give you an idea, though, this area, Ventura County, is how many wineries now? 16, 17 kind of?
Well, they're boutique, I'm going to call them, other than the one major one, Herzog.
Yeah.
They're boutique wineries where people just love the winemaking business.
It is. It's really winemaking because this region is not a wine grower, vineyards overall. It isn't. But a lot of the grapes are brought in from elsewhere, and then they're all made in here.
You know what just brought to date? Okay. No. There is, and we're going to get it so that it'll coincide with this. We did when Jeff Mulhart, they brought down a wine press from Camarillo to the farm in Oxnard. Mm-hmm. Okay, that press was from 1876 in Camarillo. So the wine making
has always been.
But now, as we all know, they're bringing the grapes in, and they're going out and buying grapes from some of the best California producers, whether it's in the Napa Valley area or whether it's in Alexander Valley or even down in Paso Robles. So what they're doing is bringing the grapes here, and we have a major winery in this county, and that's Herzog Winery.
Well, it's Herzog and all that, but just kind of give everybody an idea. I mean, this is, again, for the wine industry, I mean, for this Ventura County, I mean, years ago pretty much didn't have, virtually any of this. So over the last few years, what the Ventura County Wine Trail has gathered up all of the wineries, the boutique wineries, and have put them together. And they basically have buses that go around and do all the wine tasting and stuff. So it's become, for lack of a better word, it's becoming the it spot for the wine in the central to southern California area in Ventura County. And so what we've done is we've kind of come on board with the Ventura County Wine Trail and have gone around and kind of visited a lot of the wineries that are out there and kind of seeing what they're doing, finding out what they're doing.
A cursory look.
A cursory look.
We did it for a reason that, the event was coming up. And what we did see was an ability, the same as we saw with the Sustainable Farmer of the Month. We've got some great restaurants and some great wineries. Why aren't we going around
and highlighting?
And then, we've got a pretty good cook that understands how to do that also. His name keeps coming up. So
what is his name?
Adrian Nieto.
Nice.
Okay? And these are the things that's why these are in the production stage now. You know what I'm saying? So these are four very, very, and what we are chatting about, and not the events we're doing, but basically what we're doing on a regular basis.
Again, this goes out, so again, we're trying to bring everybody what Ventura County, the best of Ventura County in general. What we can highlight here. And so again, by bringing that, again, we're looking for the advertisers, looking for sponsors that we can bring on board to tap into some of these shows. And again, this is just the beginning of what we're going to be able to offer.
Absolutely. And anybody who's looking at this, really talking to people that they know in the community. Mm-hmm. KDTV has come on and is now being that well-respected media source, so we're hoping everybody jumps on with us.
I want to thank everybody, and we'll see you in the next series.